Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Wherever you are, wherever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about things to know before you turn 30. So I'm gonna be making 29 in a couple of weeks. Now we're gonna be talking about, of course, things before you turn 30. I know I have another year, but you guys know I am all about healing. I'm all about reflection. I'm all about journaling. I'm all about figuring out what I need to know in the current chapter. I know I'm gonna learn more in the next couple of months, but I just wanted to share the things that have been on my heart right now about what we all need to be paying attention to as we leave one cycle and step into the next. So whether you're about to turn 30 or you just turned 30 or you're not turning 30 for a couple of years, these are some things that you need to tune into. Even if you've already turned 30 and you feel like, dang, I know I'm supposed to be feeling a little different at 30, but it's not really hitting for you yet. These are some things that you want to be thinking about to change your perspective and make sure you are ready to just tackle life. Like, I really feel once you hit 30, something happens. And you know, I've been seeing so many women say it changed for me at 50, it changed for me at 40, it changed for me at 60. So I love that we get to continue to level up and always get to new heights and just grow and expand. So let's go ahead and get into some things that you need to know before you turn 30. But before we get into the tea, I wanted to let you guys know about today's sponsor, ANALUISA. You guys already know, anytime you see me dripped out of my gold honey, it's ANALUISA, period. So let's get into these new ANALUISA pieces. So this gold necklace is one of my absolute favorite pieces. I'm in love with this. I also just got these gorgeous earrings as well. And this choker is from ANALUISA as well, but I've had this for a little while. I just had to throw this on because it looks great with everything. And that's something I really love about ANALUISA. You get a little bit of everything. We have this super cute, fun pearl choker, and then you have this very classic gold pendant. Like, you can literally find a little bit of everything. Whatever your taste is, you're going to be able to find it. And if you ever want to exchange everything, they have free, fast exchanges. Yes, exchanges are free. Also, shipping is free and fast as well. So make sure you guys get into it. You know, you can check at the top of the description box to see my link and shop directly so you can save at checkout. You guys know we're all about treating yourself, pouring into yourself, and giving yourself the best of the best, and ANALUISA definitely is that. You guys have been seeing me. I have been wearing these pieces out. I've literally been wearing some of these pieces in every single video that I've done. You guys know me. I have jewelry on every day, and a lot of my older pieces have turned bronze, or I've had to throw them away, or they've broken. These pieces have held up so well over the last few months, and I know that they're going to be holding up as we're going into the future because all of ANALUISA's pieces have a 2-year warranty. Okay, and as always, the packaging is fabulous. You guys know I'm always raving about these cute little magnetic pouches that come with every single order. Every piece that you come will come in its own little pouch. If it needs to be bigger, it'll be bigger or smaller according to the size of the jewelry. This is so convenient for travel and jewelry organization. I love the attention to detail that ANALUISA puts into all of their pieces. Even the packaging is a slay. Get into it. You guys know the quality is unmatched. I love gold pieces that are actually gold. Nowadays, you can have a bunch of different kinds of gold on, but now with ANALUISA, you can really create beautiful, cohesive looks that are going to look good forever and that are going to be timeless. So you guys already are familiar with the rings. Like, I literally always have the rings on, but these are my new pieces. Make sure you guys check out my link at the top of the description box to shop ANALUISA and save 25% off. And spend the rest of the video admiring these pieces and getting into it. Like, first things first, and this isn't even on the list, but get you some good jewelry pieces going into 30. You know, you do not want to have the pieces that's breaking off while you in line. You don't want to have the pieces that's turning after one pool party, turning after you wear it in the shower. We try to throwing away our gold pieces because they've turned bronze, okay? Get into it. Now, let's go ahead, guys, and get into these things that you need to know before you turn 30. So the first thing that you should know is that your opinion matters most. I feel like a lot of what we're doing when we turn 30 is we're breaking down these misogynistic or patriarchal ideas that femininity means quiet, that femininity means playing the back, that it means shy and meek. And sometimes it does mean that, but it definitely doesn't mean that all the time. You don't always have to be quiet. You don't always have to be humble. You know, sometimes you have to stand your ground. You have to set a boundary. You sometimes have to let your ego or your pride protect you, okay? So it's really important to remember that your opinion matters the most. And I think it's really good to start doing this now by the little things. If you don't feel like meeting up with somebody, say, hey, I'm not really in the mood. If you don't want to go to a certain birthday dinner or go on a trip or do something, say, hey, I'm not really feeling it. It's not working for me. Even if you need to cancel plans or reschedule or what have you, don't ever second guess what your intuition is telling you. It's so difficult to build that intuition connection once you've lost it. So make sure you are honoring your intuition from the start and really listening to what you need. So remember that your opinion matters the most. I also think that as we get older, we really, really long for community. We long for friendship. We want romance. We want people around us. We want family. And that is so, so key. Of course, we want to have that. But it's easy to get in those spaces and feel like, oh, well, let me do what I need to do to keep this person happy. Or let me say what I need to say to keep this person around me. That's not always a good thing. That's not always a good thing. So it's really, really important to allow yourself to, know and remember that your opinion matters. A lot of women spend the rest of our lives trying to find our voice, trying to find our way to say no, trying to find our way to say, I'm not accepting that. So start now. Make sure you work on that before you are turning 30. Set your boundaries and know that your opinion matters the most. If everybody else is happy and you're not, it's not worth it. If your partner's happy and their needs are met and yours aren't, it's not worth it. And as you get older, you recognize how much life you end up missing out on. You miss out on so much happiness, joy. You waste so much time trying to take care of everybody else's happiness and neglecting your own. So give yourself the things that you need more than ever. And remember that your opinion matters the most. The next thing to know before you turn 30 is that all love and friendships do not last forever. I think this is a really, really hard pill to swallow because I feel a lot of us lose these friendships that we developed in college or in high school when we step into our 30s. Some of us get married, some of us have children, some of us move away or start different things in business. And there's a lot of things that can cause rifts in friendship. Sometimes it's not really an issue, and sometimes it can be an issue, but I think it's important to just accept that no matter what is supposed to happen, it's okay. It's always good to just accept those things and to not feel like, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe I'm not deserving of this. Maybe I'm not a good partner. Maybe I'm not a good friend. It's always good to give yourself the benefit of the doubt and say, I am worth love. I am worth peace. I am worth community. Even if I don't have it right now, even if I've had to cut people off or be in a space of isolation, it is never too late to connect with community. It's never too late to have people that you love wrap their arms around you and support you, even if it's just one or two people. So definitely be open to new love and connections. And also remember that those things don't last forever. So even if you meet somebody new, maybe they're just supposed to help you see something or reveal something to you. I think a lot of the people that we meet when we're stepping into our 30s is lessons after lessons after lessons. So make sure you are able to just remember that this may not be in my life forever, but what can I get from this? And I think when you step into a relationship with that mindset, you're less likely to be needy. You're less likely to feel desperate. You're less likely to, just put off your own needs and desires for them because you're not feeling like I have to do whatever to keep this person around. You're able to really be yourself and see, can this person accept me as myself? Can this person connect with me as myself? Or am I in a space where this person can't really give me the things that I need, So it's really important to be mindful of how you're showing up. It's really important to be mindful of how you're allowing the relationships around you to affect you. And when you think that everything is going to last forever, you can definitely show up in a space where you're, really, 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 really focused on fixing every little thing. You could be micromanaging. You could be, maybe overly dramatic or overly emotional in certain spaces. And what I mean by this is you just met somebody, y'all have dated for a little bit, and y'all decided to part ways, and this person has stopped responding to you. You don't need to blow them up and text them and call them and pop up at their job and do all of this stuff and drive past their house to try to get their attention or be like, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? Sometimes it's fine to be like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. Sometimes it's fine to be like, you know what? If they hit me up, they hit me up. Sometimes it's good to say, I've done what I can do in this space. Let me know when to take a step back. That is such a good skill to have when you're turning 30. Know when to take a step back. Know when to recognize maybe this was just for a season. Most things will be for a season. Everybody in your life isn't going to be able to be there forever. So accept that most things are for a season. Enjoy the season, revel in the season, but always be ready to move forward and step into something else. The next one is kind of similar to the last one, but master detachment. I think that this is something that we should do for everything, not just relationships, but also homes, jobs, even how we look. You don't even want to get attached to your physical appearance because we know a lot of things change at 30. Your metabolism starts to slow down. Your cravings may switch up. Your hormones may switch up. You may be more tired. You may have more energy or, less energy. Maybe you were always a morning person and now you feel like you really are more of a night owl. Maybe if you were, a drinker, you decided to stop drinking. Or you decided, okay, maybe now I can drink in moderation. Maybe you're deciding, okay, I need to get on my regimen, or maybe I need to do this. There's so much that you're picking up and putting down. It's important to master detachment because when you don't, you'll commit to everything. And commitment to everything it's not always a good thing. You want to commit to the things that you're supposed to commit to. You don't want to say, yes, I'll go to the gym 6 days a week, and I'll also be at the library, and I'll also be on vacation, and I'll also be at the pet shelter, and I'll also be doing meal prep, and I'll also be a YouTuber, and I'll also be this. You don't want to have your hands in everything. I think a lot of times in the beginning of your 30s, or as you're stepping into that, your creativity can kind of peak. You maybe learn more about your talents. There's new things that you want to do. It's like gimme, 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 gimme. There's so many things that you want to do and you want to step into. But mastering detachment allows you to flow how you're supposed to flow. You may be over here one day, and then over here, and then over here. And how can you do that if you don't master detachment? I tell you guys often, when I started my YouTube 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, when I started my YouTube 7 years ago, the year of 7 years ago when I started my YouTube, I was in cosmetology school. I always say this, I was in cosmetology school, and then from there I went to, doing business advice and helping you guys after I finished cosmetology school, and then I stepped into this. And now I'm even stepping into something different, doing my business coaching and my content creation. So there's always another level, even if you were dating and then you were engaged and then you were married. Some of us are even married and divorced before we turn 30. Some of us are parents before we turn 30, or we have a kid and then another kid before we turn 30. We may move, we may get a job, we may quit our job, we may go back to school. There's so many things, like I said, that you're picking up and putting down. You're adding in, kind of removing things from your life so quick. Master detachment. You do not want to be the person laying up at night thinking about your failures, thinking about the things you've lost, the people you've lost, opportunities you've lost. You want to be able to say, I'm glad for everything. I'm grateful for everything, no matter what worked, no matter what didn't, no matter what was a success or a failure. I'm grateful for everything. Mastering detachment is really how you reach a piece of happiness, because when you don't, you can approach everything with that overly saturated commitment where you're willing to do anything to keep something in your life. And sometimes that may mean lying to yourself or disrespecting yourself or walking over your own boundaries, and you don't want to do that. So master detachment before you step into your 30s, 110%. I feel a way to master detachment is just to know that you're enough. Know that you're enough. Realize that there isn't one friend or one person or one thing that's bringing you happiness or joy or success. You are enough as you are. You don't really need anybody else. Not to be whole anyway. We have people in our lives that give us support and community, and that's important, but you don't need people to make you whole. You don't need people to fix you, fill you up. You don't need that. You are a whole being spiritually, and I think it's really important. I didn't put this on the list, but I think it's really important to really get connected spiritually before you turn 30. Figure out who God is for you. Figure out what that looks like for you. Figure out a spiritual or a religious practice that makes you feel good, that makes you feel connected to your purpose, that makes you feel connected to God, because that's definitely going to help you feel like you're always enough, no matter what season you are in. The next one, know that facing family truths does not mean that you agree with it. Okay. So this is something that I've recently had to step into, because I, like everybody, I have certain things that I'm not really satisfied with in ways that I interact with my family or, feel like we're connected. So I think it's really important as you're stepping into 30 to just face the truth of your family situation. If there's trauma, if there's sadness, if there's pain, for some of us there's abuse, for some of us there's divorce, for some of us we've seen deceit or lies, or we've just always had a broken up family unit. These things start to really kind of show up again when you're getting into your 30s. I feel like it's an opportunity for you to say, this is the kind of community that I want, because your community, your friends, these are your chosen family. So if you're in a space where you can't even accept the truth about your family, maybe you can't even accept the truth about other people. If you can't recognize when your family is overstepping a boundary, maybe it's difficult for you to do that in other spaces. So just being able to face the truth of what's going on in your family situation is really key. And it's also key to know that facing it doesn't mean that you agree with it. It doesn't mean that you think it's okay, but we do need to know the truth. When you're stepping into 30, it's time's up for lying. It's time's up for saying maybe they'll get it together. It's time's up for saying, even though this person has hurt me over and over and over again, maybe they'll do something different. It's also time's up for shame, for guilt, for doubt. It's time's up for holding on to that inner child trauma as well. I think a lot of us have a lot of inner child trauma that we're going to be facing again as we turn 30. It's a time for you to recognize, okay, maybe this is why I lie. Maybe this is why it's hard for me to tell the truth. Maybe this is why it's hard for me to be honest about my emotions. Maybe this is why it's hard for me to show love. A lot of these things are coming from what we have going on in our family. And when we can't face it, We push it down and push it down and push it down, and it shows up in our life in other ways. You do not want that to happen, okay? So make sure before you step into 30 that you're working to accept the truth of your family. Whatever that truth is, accept the present truth and accept the fact that it may not change. Accept the fact that it may be just as it is, and know that that's fine. And that's not to say that it's good. That's not to say that you're proud about it, but it's to say that you're going to be okay. Even if nothing ever changes in your family, you will be fine. You will survive. You'll find community. You'll find support. You'll have what you need no matter what. It's really important to make sure that we let go of the notion of, I'm not going to be proud of myself if my mom is never proud of me. I'm not going to be happy about what I'm doing unless everybody in my family sees me and acknowledges it. I'm never going to be able to get married unless my parents get it together. I'm never going to be able to have a healthy relationship because look at everybody in my family. You know, it's definitely time to let that go when you turn 30. It's time to say, I am not my childhood. I am not what everybody in my family is. I am not what my generation is. I don't have to walk in this generational curse. I can be who I want to be. I can do who I want to do. I can walk in who I am. I can discover who I am. You know, I think that we are so much more than where we come from. You are where you come from, but you also are who you are. You can come from the exact same place as somebody else. Quite literally, look at your siblings. If you have a sibling that grew up in the same house as you, same mom, same dad, most of the time you guys go to the same schools. You may have the same type of, lavish birthday parties, or you're all celebrated the same or what have you. Everyone has a different experience. So it's important to not feel like this is what my family environment is. This is what everybody's doing, so this is what I have to do. It's important to say, who am I? And how do I relate to this? How has this maybe turned me into this? What have I taken from this? Accept the truth, face the truth, and know that it's okay. That doesn't mean that it's good. It doesn't mean it's acceptable. It doesn't mean that everything is appropriate, but it means that you are fine, that you are going to be able to move forward. It means that it is no longer going to hold you back. And that is really, really, really where the power is. So remember to accept those things and face those things as you step into 30. It will save you so much heartbreak. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to be dealing with family trauma forever, right? That's just the name of the game. But you really want to make sure that you're giving yourself a foundation to just feel whole, feel complete, and not allow yourself to be beat up by those things. Next, you want to remember that you are only getting started and to not worry about timelines. So this is a big one because I feel we always are so stressed about missing out on time, not being married soon enough, not having kids soon enough, not being a millionaire fast enough, not having your YouTube subscribers fast enough, feeling like, oh my God, I'm 30. I still don't have a degree. I still don't know my career path. I still don't know this. I still don't know this. 30 is so young. 30 is so much more younger than what we feel it is. And when you get to 30, you're like, girl, I feel 18. If you're turning 30, you should still feel very, very young, okay? And get in your mind that you're very, very young, because people always say you're only as old as you feel. And I do think that that's very true. I think it's easy to feel like, oh my God, I've gone through so much, I've been through so much. Even if you have gone through so much and been through so much, you have to have the perspective that you have like an ocean of life ahead of you. You have decades, you have scores and scores ahead of you, honey. There's so much more life to live. If you're turning 30, you at least have another 60 years that you're going to be walking around here, okay? And that is a blessing. And in 10 years, you're going to have 50. And in another 10 years, you're going to have 40. And in another 10, you're going to have 30. And that time is going to go because we're already 30. We're already 30. I don't know about y'all, but I can't remember my 12th birthday party. Okay? I can remember being 4 years old. And now you're an adult. You're an adult. And I always, young girls, we've always said, oh, I'm going to be married and have kids by the time I'm 25 or by the time I'm 21 or 22. We always think these ages are so old and advanced and just giving Sex in the City when we're like in high school and in middle school. And then as we get closer to these ages, we recognize like, wow, this isn't much different from this. I do think that 30 has a lot of significance just because it's 30, but 30 is not old. 30 is your first step into adulthood. It's your first step into adulthood. You're just getting started. So really remind yourself that you're just getting started. Whenever you are looking at what other people are doing, whenever you're comparing yourself to others, whenever you're feeling like they're already married with kids, who's going to be left for me? I'm not going to have nobody. If I don't have a baby now, I'm never going to be able to have a baby. The biological clock is a lie. You can have a baby whenever you want to have a baby. There's women that are having babies 45, 46, 47 years old. There's women that are 22 and have already gone into menopause. So there is no concrete biological clock. And to be honest, I know women that have had PCOS. I know women that have not been able to have children, where their doctors have told them you're not going to be able to have children. They got on those herbs, they got on those training, plans with those doulas, with those midwives, and conceived a baby. You can have a family no matter how old you are, no matter what space of your life you're in. So don't feel rushed to get into making a family right now. If you don't have a family, if you're not married, if you don't have kids, and you desire that, just because you don't have it right now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have it. If you don't have your friend group, it doesn't mean you're never going to have your friend group. If you're not a millionaire yet, it doesn't mean you're never going to make it. Even if you don't have your own car, don't have your own place, I don't care what you're lacking at 30. You are not done. You are just getting started. 30 is the new 18. 30 is a new high school graduate. 30 is the new, I'm really in here. I'm on my way up. You're on your way up at 30. You're taking your first step into the company. Think of 30 as think of before 30 as like your internship. You've been interning, and now you're about to be ready to start your position. You're about to be getting it in, but you've already been learning and you've already been growing and experiencing these things. But now you're going to be able to reap the benefits. Because when you were intern, you don't get many benefits. So now we're going to be able to reap the benefits of being able to be responsible for ourselves, setting our own rules and boundaries, really being an adult, being in a space where nobody is in control of you, being in a space where you really have full body autonomy, life autonomy. You can do whatever you want in this life. So see 30 as a space of limitlessness. See 30 as a space of endless possibilities. See it as a space of the world is my oyster. Wow, now I can do anything. I thought I could do anything back then when I was 21, 22. Now I can do anything. I guarantee you are wiser, you are stronger, you are more mentally prepared, you are more emotionally prepared. And if you don't feel like that yet, you are going to get there. You're going to get there because you don't have to have your awakening on your 30th birthday. It might be when you're 31 or when you're 32 or when you're 33 or 34, but you're going to get it in 30. 30 is going to give it to you. It's definitely the time to be mindful of what you want, where you're going, and just stick to those goals. Know that they're going to come in your life, however they're going to come. Know that we don't get to decide when we want something. We don't get to be greedy with God. Even though we want to be greedy, we don't get to be greedy. So don't feel like you have to rush into anything. Don't get tricked into rushing into anything. Don't get tricked into investing all your money in something or running off with somebody or just getting a house. Don't feel pressured into doing those things. Give yourself time to settle and figure out who you are as an adult. What you went for school for might not be even what you want to do anymore. So give yourself time to really understand who you are in this new season, because it is a new season. So give yourself time to figure out who you are in the new season and take your time. Stop feeling like you have to rush. You're on your own schedule. Whatever you're supposed to do to prepare for this next step, you've already done it. That's why you're here. Okay, so know that you've done the work to get here and bask in the moment and step into it. Know that you've done the work to get here, revel in the moment, and step into it. The last thing to know before you turn 30 is to lean into your purpose. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier about stepping into your creativity, right? You really, really want to make sure you're leaning deep into your purpose. What does this mean? Make sure you're doing whatever you can to really hone in on your creativity and on your skills. This could be a good time to think back on your inner child in a good way. Not thinking about the trauma, but thinking about your talents, your passions, your vision from when you were younger. I always wanted to be a YouTuber growing up, honey. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to live on an island, in a bungalow, on the beach every day, drinking water out of a coconut, with palm trees in the background and a flower in my hand. And I know I'm going to get it. I see my vision very, very clearly. I know the life that I want to have for myself. I know that. And I've always known that. And YouTuber was the biggest thing. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I grew up on YouTube. So me doing this has definitely proved to me that I can do all of the other things that I want. So I think it's good to ask yourself, what have I wanted to do? Did I want to move out my hometown? Have I done it? Did I want to graduate school? Did I do it? Did I want to survive my parents' divorce? Did I do it? Think about the things that you wanted to make happen when you were a kid. Maybe you didn't do everything, because I haven't done everything yet, but you've done something to get you ready for that next chapter. And if you haven't, now you have the blueprint. Now you know where you want to go. Now you know where you want to go. Now you know where your soul is calling you. So get into it, whether it's travel or being an artist or starting over or what have you. You can do whatever you want in this world. You can do whatever you want, and there's something uniquely divine within you that you're supposed to be stepping into. And I think when you're turning 30, I think it's a great time to know your purpose and know who you are. I think it's the best time to really understand why you're here, what God wants from you, how you can elevate, how you can grow, you know, what's going to be next for you, what's going to change for you as you're elevating and going here and going here. What does that even mean? And how can you continue to show up for yourself in a way that brings you the things that you need 110%? So I feel like there's so much potential here for us to, you know, just step into this next chapter, really, really knowing who we are. I think we spend a lot of time wondering about our purpose and what am I here for? What am I supposed to do? By the time you're turning 30 or you're stepping into your 30s, you've already been through a lot of life. You've been through a lot of life. You know what feels the most natural. You know what doesn't. Spend some time to reflect and ask yourself, when have I been the most happy? What makes me the most fulfilled? And if I haven't felt fulfilled in anything, let me check all of these things off my list and make sure I don't keep doing them. You know, really make the decision to do what you want in your life. If that means getting into biking, if that means getting into skating, if that means getting a boat, if that means traveling, like I said, if that means whatever it means, make sure you do it for yourself. Make sure you do it for yourself and lean into your purpose, lean into who God wants you to be. Of course, get more connected with spirit, know what you're stepping into, know what feels the best for you, know what feels the most authentic for you, and then allow that to help you be led into your purpose. I think our purpose has a lot to do with generational curses. I think it also has a lot to do with who we are supposed to be as we're healing and as we're becoming the best version of ourselves, because everyone connected to you, if you're connected to your right people, they're going to be doing the same thing that you're doing. My soulmates in this life, she'll deal with something, and then a year later, I'll be dealing with something. You know, like my best friend, I was just talking to her this morning. She was telling me about how she used to feel, and I'm like, girl, I literally feel the exact same way today, right now. And we always feel that way, whether it's vice versa, where I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly how you're feeling. I used to feel like that. Let me give you some advice. You know, I think that when you're connected to anything that's supposed to be your purpose, whether you're journaling more or being in nature more, or you're thinking about how you need to heal, or you're thinking about, you know, releasing certain things, whatever you're doing to get yourself closer to your purpose, that's really going to start to align you with people who can share your struggles, people who can give you advice, people who can help you out, opportunities. That's definitely how I've been blessed the last, has it been 6 years? The last 6 years. I haven't had a job in 6 years. I've been doing this full time for 6 years. And it ain't been easy, but I've been doing it, you know? And I think that the more aligned you are with your purpose, the more things will just kind of fall into place for you, the more you won't have to really work too hard to get the things that you really, really want to get out of life. And I think that that's what 30 is all about, making life easy. Okay, let's make life easy in 30, okay? Let's make life easy in 30. Let that be the theme for 30, easy living, okay? Life beat you up enough when you're in your late 20s, honey. Let's step into 30 with easy living and take everything that we've learned and allow it to just elevate us into new heights. So yes, guys, let me know how you guys are feeling about these messages, things to know before you turn 30. I hope you guys appreciated these messages, and I hope you've been enjoying the vibes. Thanks to ANALUISA. Let me know how you guys are feeling about these jewelry pieces down below. Pretty soon I'm going to need to do a full ANALUISA collection and just get you guys into all of my pieces, but make sure you shop down below in the description box. Don't forget to use my link to save 25% on your order. Make sure you guys get into it. I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much as always, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Bless.